I mean, you are the man. You are the bodyguard, Adam.
Yes,
How's that feel?
I am the eponymous, the character of the musical of the same name. Um, it's quite it's look it's I'm loving it. I'm really loving it, and I'm very excited to come to Manchester. I do have to. There is a disclosure, though. Although it's called The Bodyguard, and I play the bodyguard, like that. That is clear. The real star of the show, of course, is the person who sings all the songs, and that is Rachel Marron, played by SIDONIE Smith. So yeah, like it's one of these things where like you are the bodyguard. I'm like, yeah, but I don't do half as much as what the
Yeah,
lead.
but the only reason she can perform is because she's protected
This
by
is
the bodyguard.
this is absolutely true. Like otherwise there'd be no show.
No. Now, you talked about the singing, and I know Rachel Marron does a lot of that singing. I am a little bit disappointed because I love you singing and I love you dancing. And this is totally different because we don't get to see you do that, apart from a little bit of karaoke in the bar, right?
Yeah, that's essentially it. For me, I'm doing a play. I get to do a play, and I love doing plays. And that's the weird or wonderful thing about this production is that it's a musical, it's a play,
Mm.
it's a concert, it's a
Yeah.
thriller, and it's a romance. Like, and it's wonderfully sort of meshed together. So, but yes, I'm definitely in the play part.
I know, but do you not get that little itch of when they're doing those dance routines to go, do you know what? Frank could throw some shapes in here, you know?
He could definitely throw some shapes. I would be undoubtedly challenged to do Karen Bruce's choreography in this show. It is. I mean, I honestly think it's one of the stars of the show. Like our chorus of dancers are doing things I don't think people will have seen often before. They're such good tricks, such good partner work. They can do everything from ballet to street. It's yeah, that's one of my favorite parts is just watching the dancers dance and then
And
going,
that's great praise from you because you have got a brilliant dancing history and you've just finished choreographing and co-writing with the Emerald Storm, which was amazing in London. But a little bird tells me that you were practicing for this role of the bodyguard when you were out with some mates. Now, is this true? Or is this just hearsay?
no, it's not apocryphal. It is absolute fact. It, yeah, we walked into a bar or a club in London, and it was packed, and we managed to, convince the people at the door to let us in. And it was a good night. It was a really good night, and there was nowhere to sit. And we saw a roped off, clearly meant to be for someone else. And so I suggested to my friends, girls and guys, you sit there and I will just put the rope back, and we'll just do it as though you're meant to be there and I'm meant to be your bodyguard, and then everyone will just assume that that's what meant. It's that whole thing. Like you do it with enough confidence, and people are like, "Oh, that's what's meant to be happening." Like I mean, not to the same degree as those guys went into the Louvre and stole that painting by just being like, "No, we're doing some renovations. Don't worry about us. No, the painting has to come with us." It's that same sort of thing. We were just like, well, if you just sit down and order a bottle of something and pretend you are there, and I'll just stand in front because I was wearing black anyway, and I just stood in front, and we got our own booth.
I love that it works. I really do. It feels like then this was meant to be. But I suppose there are reasons why you choose the roles that you do now, because with the career that you've had, and you've done so many different roles, TV, stage, film, all of that, and judging, how do you know what to say yes to? What makes you say yes to a role, Adam?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I remember auditioning for the original in 12 years ago, and I met with Thea Sharrock, the director, someone who I greatly respect and admire as a director. And I was like, "Oh, wow." She's done things really, really powerful, straight plays, and I was like, "I think she'll do something amazing with this," and I was right. And I just didn't look old enough. 12 years ago, I looked, like still like someone who wouldn't have that sort of gravitas. So when this came around again, and I've worked with Crossroads and David Ian, I think this is my 6th production with them, and he's never steered me wrong. And he was like, I know it's more of a play, and you wouldn't have to sing or dance. Maybe that's a good, maybe that's a bad thing, but I think you'd be really good at it. And so we chatted about it, and I'd seen the original production, and I just thought, and I loved the movie, and I thought there's something about Frank and that relationship which is really, I find it a very interesting exploration of, he's not particularly capable of relationships for lots of different reasons, and yet he finds himself drawn to this person who's possibly out of his league, who's a superstar, and who he's meant to protect. So it becomes this incredibly complicated and convoluted relationship and choices. And to be an actor, that's what you want. You want choices where there are stakes. And I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
what draws me to the role.
And we saw Kevin Costner play it in the movie, and it has got that depth to it. It's an iconic movie, but you're no stranger to the iconic movie because, I'm not the only one who may have played Coyote Ugly numerous times, and I can't believe it was over 25 years ago. So many people will have known you from that, but I suppose that musical theatre was always the goal, wasn't it? But I think maybe a lot of people drew you from that film.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the difference between sort of stage. I did the thing I did right before Coyote Ugly,
Saturday Night Fever.
was Saturday Night Fever, which was an enormous thing for me.
Amazing.
Stadium, which fits 2,500 people, and Robert Stigwood and David Ian producing, and the Bee Gees, and that movie made famous by John Travolta. Like, there were lots of things about that I guess put me on a different level for people in the theatre world. But nothing has the reach of film or TV, and particularly now, back then even more so film. I think TV's got a bit more reach now. And it's Jerry Bruckheimer, the biggest producer on the planet. He's done everything. He is actually the most successful producer on the planet, and so to get that opportunity, it was, happily went everywhere, and lots of people saw it, and luckily lots of people liked it.
Yeah, and still today, people are talking about it, and that takes a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those. I guess it's a film now that quite. I'm quite happy to say that it's now a sort of a hand-me-down movie. I've met people who are not older than 25 years old, therefore they had to get it some other way.
Yeah.
And that's really amazing that it's a generational thing, and people find something in it. Each generation is like, yeah, it's a really good film. It's a good film. I watched it not that long ago, and I was like, actually, that is a good film. Yeah.
It's a great film, and I've got to confess that in lockdown, because this studio is like my studio now, but we made it as a bar, as most people do in lockdown. I have got a TikTok of me dancing to Coyote Ugly on top of this very bar.
I mean, when life can imitate art,
Absolutely. Got to
why
be
not?
done. So this is going to take you through to quite a bit of 2026, right?
Yeah.
Have you got any other roles in mind? Is there a role that you really want? Like you said, you wanted to do the Bodyguard 12 years ago. Is there something that is still on your tick list or your wish list, Adam?
I think strangely, yeah, the thing that really got me into musical theatre when I was way too young to should be watching it was my dad, who doesn't know much about theatre, thought the Rocky Horror Picture Show might be all right for a 10-year-old, and the stage show as well. And he took me to see it, and then quickly realized his mistake. But I was like, no, we're not leaving. This is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever seen. And a big star at that time called Reg Livermore was starring in it, and there was swearing, and there was sex, and there was dancing, and it was bonkers. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. So I've always had a hankering to play Frankenfurter. Another.
Oh my God, I would be racing to see you in that. You would be, I can't believe you've never been asked.
Yeah.
Right, it's been done. It is being done. We've got it out there, and yeah, I'm going to count down the days. But first, I'm going to count down the days to see you in your smart suit with your earpiece and protecting Rachel Marron, because you are coming here like next week, which is amazing.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really looking. We've got 2 weeks in Manchester. So yeah, I think it's it's a great show.